देश के कई भागों में वर्षा के कारण कुछ आपदाएं भी हैं और कुछ स्थान है जहां अपेक्षा से कम वर्षा है। मैं समझता हूं ऐसे विषयों की चर्चा भी बहुत उपयुक्त रहेगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
तो आप सुन रहे थे प्रधानमंत्री।
So the Prime Minister there speaking ahead of in fact, before the beginning of the monsoon session. This is customary where the Prime Minister, in fact, speaks to the media before the session begins, and he's appealing to the opposition parties to also raise issues of the rainfall that in some cases has been excessive, in some cases has not matched what they usually receive. The Prime Minister, in fact, inviting opposition parties to discuss those issues as well. This even today, as mob lynching seems to be the focus of the opposition. They've already moved adjournment motions, in fact, they've given adjournment motions to discuss the issue of mob lynching a day after the Supreme Court member passed a crucial judgment which called for Parliament to tackle the issue of mob lynchings. Now, the opposition parties have in the past, in fact, targeted the central government for not doing enough in their case, and in some states, state governments not doing enough. Let's go across now to Meenakshi joining us on the phone line. Meenakshi, the Prime Minister there putting out an appeal to opposition leaders to also try and discuss other issues like rainfall, which in some cases across the country has been excessive, while in others places have received nowhere close to enough rainfall.
Well, yes, absolutely, Viren, as we were discussing a while back as to how this is a session.
Right, of course. So we're building up to the monsoon session 2018, which will take place in a few minutes from now. We're just minutes away from the beginning of the monsoon session of Parliament. A number of issues set to be raised front and centre. A number of bills still pending, of course. The Prime Minister asking the opposition leaders to cooperate with the government as they hope to allow both houses to function smoothly. Remember, protests have rocked previous sessions of Parliament all the way through. Meenakshi is still with us on the phone line. Meenakshi, you know, these Parliament sessions over the last few years have not been constructive at all, and an appeal now being put out by the Prime Minister once again to try and find out a way where the opposition, the government, can at least allow the House to function.
Well, Viren, of course, a clear indication that several of the parties are in a mood to really set the monsoon session off to a rocky start. We have seen several notices for adjournment having been served on the issue of mob lynching, and it was only yesterday that this completely comprehensive judgment from the Supreme Court has come by, which now makes it binding on the Parliament to really go ahead and enforce the directions of the top court. But yes, in this backdrop, it is interesting the floor strategy that the government will come out with to take all stakeholders on board. Of course, this is a request coming in from the Prime Minister beseeching on the other members of the House to allow Parliament to function smoothly, and he also made an appeal that whatever outstanding issues any party has, they will have opportunity to raise it on the floor of the House. But whether or not this assurance is enough is something that one will have to keep an eye on. But because clearly the opposition is uniting to really corner the government on the issue of mob lynching.
Well, certainly, and we'll be tracking the developments as they take place in Parliament. Both houses of Parliament set to convene at 11 a.m. For the first day of the monsoon session in a few minutes from now. Thanks, Meenakshi, for joining us.